Reading the Bible often feels like walking into a library where thousands of years of law, poetry, and prophecy have been shredded and scattered across the floor. Without a way to connect these entries, you're left navigating a maze of isolated moral codes, ancient genealogies, and cryptic predictions. This disconnection turns the reader into a bystander, observing a collection of ancient documents that seem to have no single driving purpose. The kingdom perspective provides the structure, bringing these fragments into a unified whole. It reveals how every story fits into a single narrative. From Genesis to Revelation, the heartbeat is constant. God is on a mission to restore his rule over a broken world. Viewing the text this way shifts the experience of reading. Instead of a search for disconnected rules, it becomes an observation of a single story of human restoration. This narrative focus becomes most visible when we look at the start of Jesus' public work. He is frequently described as a moral philosopher or a teacher of personal ethics, but his opening message was specific. He announced that the kingdom of God was at hand. The long-awaited revolution of God's rule had finally arrived. His miracles were an exercise of royal authority. He was reclaiming territory from the powers of darkness and physical brokenness. Every healing and every storm he stilled functioned as a tactical demonstration of the king's power to set things right. This focus defined his entire ministry. Even after his resurrection, he spent his final 40 days teaching his followers exclusively about this kingdom. His time on earth was a strategic campaign to launch a physical regime change, establishing a new authority over creation. The narrative moves towards the cross and the resurrection as the climax of this campaign. The cross was the decisive battle. This was the moment the king engaged the powers of sin and death, holding humanity captive, disarming them. The resurrection followed as historical proof of that victory. It demonstrated that the king had successfully secured the world he created. Having won the battle, the king ascended to the right hand of God to take his seat of power. This is his coronation, the moment he is, as Philippians describes, exalted to the highest place, receiving the name that is above every name. Because the victory is won, Jesus is the reigning king right now. This connects to our origins, drawing a direct line from Eden to the restoration God is completing. As heaven and earth merge, the kingdom's goal is the physical renewal of all creation. The gospel is the victory declaration of a king who has already secured his throne and is now making all things new. This timeline places us directly into the middle of an unfolding story. Since the battle has been won and the king is on his throne, we are no longer bystanders watching history from a distance. We are subjects of this kingdom, stationed in a world that is still being restored. In this role, we serve as the king's ambassadors. This identity places our work, our closest relationships, and our daily choices under the king's authority. As ambassadors, we represent the king's values, peace, justice, and love, acting as his representatives until the restoration is complete. We act with confidence because the king who secured the victory at the cross is the one overseeing the work of making all things new. Studying the Bible from this perspective transforms our role. We move from being spectators of an ancient book to being active participants in a living mission of restoration.